Hello and welcome back to the Penno Channel for this transfer update with everything regarding Aston Villa. Before we start, if you could like, subscribe and comment your thoughts on everything discussed within this video. You could really do the comments as well. And also, we have a membership program if you'd like to become a member, to check the link out below the video. So let's get on to it then. The rumours are flying for Villa at the minute. There's so much going on. We seem to be one of the most active clubs within the window so far. And let's start with some news that's been going on for a number of days now, and Donell Malen, the 25-year-old winger from Borussia Dortmund. Now, to go further on the initial links and supposed bid that we'd made, it seems as if Aston Villa now have reached an agreement with Malen for personal terms. So that's all agreed. Malen's very happy to come to the Premier League. He wants the new challenge. He wants to come and play in the Premier League. And Aston Villa want him. They want him either to operate off that right-hand side or play as a second striker, which I think he'd be really good at, playing off either Watkins or Duran, who will play the 9 within the system. Similarly to Musa Diaby and what he was doing as well. And I think Donell Malen, if he got into those good areas and good positions, he's rapid as well. He can get a number of goals for us and really rise and increase our GA that we've been lacking throughout the rest of the team if it's not for Watkins, Duran or Morgan Rogers. So yeah, we'll see how that one develops. Obviously, Dortmund, it's been quoted on a number of sources, Fabrizio, stating that they're looking for 25 million euros, whether that's a flat fee or an initial fee plus add-ons to match that. Villa initially, they offered 18 million euros with add-ons. Whatever those add-ons stretched to wasn't confirmed, but obviously not to the 25 million euros. So we'll see how that develops. Maybe Villa and Dortmund can meet in the middle. The player wants to leave, Villa want to sign him, and Dortmund are happy to let him go if the right fee is agreed. So yeah, he's contracted to June 2026, so he's only got a year and a half left on his deal. So they'll be looking to recruit some money back for him within this window. Moving on, and it looks like this window, Villa are looking for a right back. It's been apparent now to me that we've required another right back for a number of years now, and it looks like Villa are finally going to bite the bullet and try and sign one. Obviously, we heard about the Gertrude links throughout the summer. We've seen we were really close, but Leipzig ended up signing the player. Well, one of the links, and it's now been confirmed by Fabrizio and Mateo Moreno as well, who's a trusted journalist in Spain, is that Villa are looking to sign Oscar Mingueza from Celta Vigo. The 25-year-old right back who can also play as a centre-back. He's a real utility player. He can play all the way on the right-hand side. He can play centre-back. He can play DM, CM as well. Similarly, and I think he's quite similar in attributes, not as good I wouldn't say, but similar in terms of attributes and the way he can play in certain positions to Joshua Kimmich. Can play anywhere across the right-hand side and can also operate as a centre-back and DM, which we've always known that Unai Emery was looking for and has identified as being that. We've seen Konza operate on that right-hand side at right-back, who can also play centre-back. We saw the links with the summer with Gertrude, who, funnily enough, Leipzig ended up signing, who's a versatile player on that right-hand side who can, again, operate as a right-back and a centre-back as well. So, yeah, these links don't surprise me. Villa like looking and scouting in Spain as well. So, yeah, this sounds like it has some real legs within it. Going on Mingueza and his professional career so far, well, he started off at Barcelona, 8 years of age. He came through La Masia. He was there for 15 years. Represented Barca for 40 odd appearances within La Liga anyway. Had a real go at it for Barcelona, but they opted to move him on. From what I remember of his time at Barca, I just remember he was a really technical player, really good on the ball. Something I think we lack on that right-hand side at times, especially from that position, is just some real quality, and Mingueza will offer that if he does become a Villa player. As I stated, he's extremely adaptable. Very, very technical on the ball. His XA numbers are really good as well. So he gets into those good positions with the ball and puts in a good delivery for the attacking players. And he can also strike a ball as well. He's really technical in that aspect as well. Good passer, good crosser. And he also has the ability to beat his man in 1v1 actions. He may not be the quickest, but he does have the skill and technique to do that. And that's something we've lacked as an option down the right-hand side from right back throughout. Obviously, Konza doesn't operate in that. Matikash, he tries, but he's not as technically gifted as other players may be. Matikash does the groundwork of getting up and down the pitch and, sometimes lacks in that area. And obviously we've seen Lamar Bogard play in that position. He's the same, similar in terms of attributes to Konza, but not as good, obviously. And then also Nedeljkovic hasn't seen many minutes. Looks like he'll go out on loan as well. And again, in those areas, even though he's lightning quick, it's just those aspects in those areas, to create chances. And getting Oscar Mingueza will be a huge plus for us in terms of just the chance creation, the ability to cross in a ball from those areas, the ability to beat the fullback and get to the byline and whip it in from the right-hand side, which is something we only seem to do from the left-hand side. We really lack on that side of the pitch as well. And it also gives further flexibility. If McGinn was to operate off the right and it wasn't Bailey, it means we'd still having a fullback on that side who can offer something going out wide when McGinn comes inside. So yeah, I like this signing, really like this signing for Villa. Again, I think this one has some real legs. Spanish, obviously, as well. And our whole scouting department as a whole is Spanish, and we do identify talents from La Liga and try to pursue them. So yeah, I really do see Oscar and Mingueza being signed in this January window, and we'll just see how things develop regarding that, if the player agrees to the terms, and then we'll see what the bids are going forward. But yeah, reports coming out of Spain, Fabrizio as well, that this one has some legs in it. So along the lines of the Oscar Mingueza links, there's also links to another right back from Brazil, from Flamengo, and his name's Wesley Franca. Now, Wesley Franca's 21 years of age, has played a number of games for Flamengo now, really stated his claim and become their first choice right back. Yet to play for Brazil or represent Brazil at the younger levels, but there are talks, and I've seen a number of accounts or a number of sources saying he was close to getting into recent Brazil squads. He's not far off, and they do rate him over in Brazil. So this is a really interesting link. It's something quite left field. Going to look at South American talent, we've seen clubs operate within the Premier League who have really got some stars from doing so. Most notably Brighton. I think Bournemouth have started to do it as well, and they've had links to a South American player within this window. So it shows that Villa are looking to take their scout into other continents, which is really good. And really trying to go and see what players they can sign. Obviously, we have a history of signing some players in terms of Juan Pablo Angel, Ulysses de la Cruz, for those who remember him as well. So yeah, going back to that side of the world and trying to identify talent, and it seems that it's come back that Wesley Franca and his attributes are something that Villa could look into. So I don't know too much on the player himself. Seen a few clips as you do and some highlights. Had a look at his stats. In terms of his actions, he's not as attacking in terms of what he can produce compared to Mingueza, but who knows, within the system it may unlock him, and he may have the ability to really produce within that. I think his defensive actions are a bit more, a bit better than Mingueza's are. Mingueza, in that sense, his 1v1 duels aren't as good, and potentially, as he doesn't have that much pace, we could do, with someone who could be quicker down that side. So yeah, Franca is an option. I've read quite a bit on him, and yeah, at one point Franca was not rated at all. So not even a few years ago, he was not really rated, and this season and last season, towards the end of it, he's had a real transformation, and now, yeah, they really rate him there. So this is one, it'll be interesting to see how it develops, and if that is the link. But I do really think that Oscar Mingueza is the player. I think the age profile, also being Spanish as well, would really suit our system. Continuing on with the fashion of talking about La Masia players, let's get on to outgoings and players that could potentially leave in the January window or going out on loan. And this is a big one. This is, a player who's taken League One by storm this season. 15 goals, 2 assists in 23 games. Currently, I think the League One player of the season. But obviously, he's been recalled back, and that's Louie Barry. Always had the attributes and the ability, always been, seen as a top talent and who will make it as a professional, albeit not quite at the level. Played youth football in the same sides as Jude Bellingham and Jamal Musiala. Was highly coveted at that point as well. Obviously coming through the West Brom academy and then getting that move to Barcelona, and then Villa, signing him back to come back here to Birmingham. And he's been part of the development ever since, and having had that loan last season at Stockport and having the initial impact that he did have. Unfortunate to get that really bad injury, which kind of, he was out for the rest of the season at that point. So I'm really happy he had the opportunity to go back this season and just show he's still very, very capable and the level he can be at. Now, with Louie Barry in the case with that, obviously the potential's there. It has been for a number of years now. It's just about how high can he go now. What is Louie Barry's ceiling? No one really knows. So within that, it seems that Villa are looking to offload him to a Championship club, potentially as a loan. Could be a permanent, but if it was to be a permanent, I'd see it as just being one of those signings where a buyback clause would be instilled. We've got Philogene back with a buyback clause. We have to sign Archer back with a buyback clause as well. But in line with Cameron Archer and how he went to Preston and he showed his ability in the Championship, and then the next loan he went to Middlesbrough and showed he was above, the area where Preston were, which was trying to, middle to low in Championship, to Middlesbrough, who were high flying, really pushing to try and get into the Premier League, and were in a playoff position, and Cameron Archer took the Championship by storm, whichever club he's been at. I think this is the same for Louie Barry now. He's done it in League One, he's shown he's one of the best in that. Now let's see how he goes at Championship level. And I think this loan, that could happen. It's been reported that potentially Derby are the club where he's going to go. And that's where I see it in line in terms of Cameron Archer and his loan, where he went to Preston at that time, who were kind of middle to lower part of the Championship. Derby in the same position, and Archer and his goals rose Preston up the league within that season. And we'll see what impact Louie Barry can have at Derby, and whether he can just carry on with the season he's having so far. But he's just one of those players that, where can he go? What level can he go to? Because throughout his youth development, he was one of those players that was going to be touted to be one of the best. He still has the opportunity to be one of the best. He's still so young. He's only 21 years old. Like, he has so many years ahead of him, and he could very well become a Villa player and starting in the Villa side in the next season or two. That's how fast he could develop, and that's how fast he's developing currently. So yeah, I think a Championship loan would be good. It's reported that Derby are the side that's going to get him. There was also rumours that potentially Leeds were interested, other clubs that are currently in the top half of the table, which may be a bit too much of a step, but then could suit him as well because he's potentially playing with better players. So yeah, this will be interesting. I hope it's the right move for him. I hope Derby is the way to go, where you'll get full 90 minutes. The reasoning for why Villa may have refused offers from higher Championship clubs, if that is the case, is because they're wanting to play full games, they're wanting to play full 90s, and he might be coming off the bench and have to start in that position. Whereas at Derby, I think he goes straight into that side. So yeah, it's really interesting to see what happens with Louie Barry, and I just hope it works and he comes back, and because he has so much ability, and if he can show it in the Champ, then he'll be more than ready for the Premier League, and we'll see how he goes from that point. So yeah, interesting developments in Louie Barry, a player I see who will go out either on loan or on a permanent, and a buyback will be installed into the contract. That's it for all the transfer news so far. Again, if you could like, subscribe, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'll really get commenting. Let me know your thoughts on Villa and how it seems to conducting business. Obviously looking to recruit a right back who can operate as a centre back potentially, and also a second striker who can operate as a right winger as well. I think those are two positions that a lot of Villa fans, myself included, have identified we need strengthening, and it seems like Villa are trying to do that. So yeah, it's looking good, it's looking up. We'll see how things develop. Thank you for joining me, and see you on the next video.